previous videos on the intro to strumming, I talked about syncopated versus simple. I talked about keeping your arm moving. I talked about practicing with a metronome, and also we talked about accents. And today we're going to talk about creating a snare hit, a kind of a percussive element to add to your playing. And the great thing about it is it will allow you to be kind of both guitar player and drummer. If you're just accompanying alone, say you're at a campfire or something and you're playing songs, it'll allow you to kind of kick in a little bit of a groove feel in there, kind of make it a little more of two-dimensional playing. So basically the skill you need to get down is muting the strings at the same time that you hit them. So it's almost contrary to what you think you want to do. But the idea is to basically make contact with the strings on the side of your hand at the same time you're bringing, or just slightly before the time you're bringing the pick down on the strings. You can do this, you can practice this with all open strings to make sure you're not getting anything ringing out. In slow motion, it's like this. Just kidding. Just practice that a few times, and then what you'll want to do is work it into a pattern. I like to use it when I'm doing the basic strumming, the standard folk groove that I've talked about in the past. I'll put a link to the video here. And basically that is the 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4. Now the two chords I'm going to use in this video are basically E minor and A major. I want to keep it very, very simple. E minor and A major, because I want you to be working more on your right hand and not even thinking about your left hand. In fact, if you want to sit on one chord, E minor or G or whatever, you can do that as well. So the reason I like to use two chords is so you don't lose track of where one is. When we start doing syncopations, we start putting snare hits on 2 and 4, you can start to hear 2 and 4 as being 1 and 3. And then you lose track of where 1 is. And it's real important if you're going to be accompanying people singing, if you're going to be playing with others, you need to keep track of the beats and where the downbeat is and where 1 is, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a standard folk groove on E minor, and we're going to put the snare hit in a couple different places for fun, okay? So here's the standard groove. I'm going to add the snare hit. Here it is slower. 1, 2, and 4, and 1. Here's the snare. The accents, remember before we did the accents, we did like we accented on 2 and 4, and it kind of created the snare hit. Remember the snare, oftentimes in a drum standard groove is boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's your standard, just a very, very basic drum groove. But that's what we're imitating. Okay, so again, I'm going to play a little faster. It's easier faster for me for some reason, but okay, got it. Okay, so that's with the snare hit on 2 and 4. Now I'm going to put the snare hit on 3, and it's going to be basically a halftime feel. So when the drummer goes to playing the snare on 3 instead of 2 and 4, it feels like the song is half as fast. Okay, check this out. I'm going to go from the 2 and 4 hit to the 3 hit and see if you can tell when that happens, okay? are singing and they'll be like, wait, what? Oh, they'll fall out of their chairs, okay? So just in review, the snare hit is basically just getting to the strings with the side of your hand before your pick gets to them and deadening them. Now you'll notice too that I just, without even thinking about it, I kind of lift my left hand off the strings. You don't have to do that if you have it down. The only thing that allows is just even more muting happening. You've got muting on this side happening and muting over here. So I'll do that. I'll lift my fingers, I'll lift the strings off the frets, but leave my fingers on the strings. It kind of helps with the muting, but it's not necessary. It's almost hard not to do it for me. But if it makes it easier to not do that, you don't have to do that, okay? So let's do this again. I'm gonna go 2 and 4. I'm gonna do 2 and 4, but I'm gonna go slower for you, okay? On 3. You can also do 4. Let's check this out. This is what it sounds like to just hit a snare hit on 4. See. It's kind of like similar to a halftime feel. It's almost more like I might do something like this, where if I wanted to have dynamics throughout a song, and say the song was maybe those same 2 chords, so you definitely are going to want to have some dynamics happening. I might start out just hitting whole notes, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I might go into the standard folk groove. Then I might be bringing the snare on 4. First of the double chorus or something on 3, halftime feel. Okay, so if nothing else, it keeps you from getting bored when you're playing along with people at the campfire singing or jamming with friends or whatever. If you want to play something. If you want to play rhythm so someone can practice their soloing or things like that, it gives you some tools to kind of make it more interesting so it's not the same thing over and over again. And this could be done to a lot of different strumming patterns. We may talk about that in the future, okay? I hope you're doing well. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Thanks for subscribing. You can like me on Facebook. That is great because I post more stuff up there, other people's videos, news, pictures, things like that, and you can comment and we can communicate that way too. So talk to you soon. Bye bye.